Hello, Reset with Raven family. Today we are talking about resetting your health. I am super excited for you all to meet Aida Sereno Lee. I love speaking to extraordinary leaders, action takers, and people who are solution oriented and have a no matter what an overcomer approach to life. Well, today, that's exactly who we are speaking to. Aida is an integrative nutritional health coach who used her own health conditions to not only transform her health, but to equip others with the knowledge and resources to assist them in their personal journey to disease prevention, healing, and life purpose. Welcome, Aida.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here today. I'm so excited to get pumped and help these people that is your audience to hear how they can reset their health.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we are excited to have you. I'm excited to have you. Aida, you've had to significantly reset your health. Start by talking about how at 30, you experienced paralysis due to your health.
Yes, what happened is that since I was a child, I was diagnosed with hypertension. I was a preemie child, and I have multiple conditions that as I age, they got better, but the hypertension never did. I got worse. And as a young person, you don't take care of yourself like you're supposed to. So at age 30, I have a massive stroke that paralyzed my whole left side. Okay? And because of all the medications that they give you with it, I gained a lot of weight. I started having heart issues because of that. I didn't have no energy. At one point, I was taking a total of 19 pills a day. Okay, 19 pills a day. 9 medications, a total of 19 pills a day that I was taking. I was like a zombie, And when I went to the medical care, it's every single time I went to the doctor, every single time I went to the hospital, was one more medication, but my blood pressure was not budging. I was not getting better. That's why I decided that I needed to take control of my own health and do something about it because they are not doing anything. They're just making money out of me, but they're not doing anything to make my situation better. And living longer, I was able to survive the stroke. And little by little, I recovered all my movement and everything, but I was not getting any healthier. So the quality of life was poor. So what I have to do is I take charge of myself. So I start by doing research. Start doing research on what kind of alternative medicine, natural medicine, ayurveda, functional medicine, and I start doing research. And as I learn, I start applying it into my own life. Applying it into my own life. And as I apply it into my own life, I start seeing changes. And that's when I decided to go back to school and become a holistic practitioner and an integrative nutrition coach.
Wow. So let's go back to the 19 pills a day. Mm. What was that like? And how did you transition out of that? Because I am like, wow, that's a lot of medication.
That's a lot.
Take us back to the 19 pills a day and the steps that you took just initially.
Listen, when I was taking 19 pills a day, I felt like a zombie. There were some medications that make you sleepy. Okay. And I was a medical assistant and a lab technician. And in my job, in the morning, I run the lab. And in the afternoon, I have to do the nursing. So when I run the lab, I had to do a lot of blood drawing and things like that. I don't know. It was a God mercy that I was so good doing that because I felt like I was more out there, like a drug addict kind of, like high all the time with all the medications. I felt it sometimes that I needed have you ever seen the cartoons of Tom and Jerry where they had to put the toothpaste in the eyes to keep their eyes open? That's how I felt it. That's how I felt it. And then the problem with that was that if I missed a dose, then I would get a humongous migraine and I was not functional. Because it's like you become addicted to the medication. It's like if you don't have it, then you cannot function.
All right, let's start by talking about, so you're on these 19 pills a day, you're feeling like a zombie. So what exactly did you do? And talk about the time frame in which you did it, because I'm very curious about that.
The first thing that I started when I was studying nutrition and see a lot of nutrition, I started to see foods and herbs that are good to lower your blood pressure. So I started by implementing those into my diet, into my daily routine. I started thinking, the same way that when you have a cough, you might take Robitussin for the cough and it might not taste good, but you take it anyway because you want that cough to get away. Then I thought to myself, I need to eat healthier, even if they don't taste good. Those things don't taste good in order for me to start feeling better because they were foods that I'm not used to eating. I'm Puerto Rican. We are used to the rice and beans and chicken and plantains. That's about it, So I try to start putting things that it says that I study that will lower your blood pressure. I started to build a morning routine that will allow me to relax and control stress because my life was very stressful at the moment as well. And stress kind of damages your blood pressure and also your sugar when you are very stressful. So I try to control my stress. I try to implement more exercise and activity into my physical body, and then monitoring my blood pressure. So I know what that I'm doing, that making changes. And then I was not able to withdraw myself out of the pills, but I was able to log everything in properly, what I did, when I did it, what I took, so that I can bring it to the doctor. And then I have to kind of push his hand to stop me and take me away some medication because he can see that things are working. And that's exactly what I do with the clients. I'm not taking them away for the medication because I'm no doctor. I just make them do the natural things and then log everything professionally, very log, so that you can take it to the doctor and the doctor can have no choice but to remove you from the medications.
Wow. I want to talk about morning routines. I am a huge advocate of having a morning routine. I call it slay the day, master the day. And it's all a part of how you make sure that I believe you have an extraordinary day. You can have an extraordinary week, extraordinary month, extraordinary year, extraordinary life. So I am super tuned and locked into having great routines. So tell us about what is your current morning routine and what you do or what you learned through this healing process about how to control your stress.
For me, it's very important to have a morning routine. When I don't have my morning routine packed, my day doesn't go well. So what I do, the first thing that I do when I wake up is thank God, that I'm awake. I have one more day of life. Then I always have my devotional, that I read my devotional for the day, my word for the day. I'm a Christian, so I will implement those things. I read the word of the day. I put some worship music and I meditate. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I meditate. And then after I do that, then I eat something real light and I go and do my exercise. I do my exercise in the morning right after I do any work and do anything else. My favorite exercise is going walking because while going walking, then I can listen to some worship music at the same time. And it's like you're doing both things at the same time. But it is important. Then and a journal also. When I do my devotional, I also journal my 3 things why I am grateful today. Why I'm grateful as soon as I wake up. Why I'm grateful? Because when you put something positive, then the day is going to go positive. And there's always, no matter how your life has been, there's always things for you to be thankful. If you're alive and breathing and standing, that's so 3 things right there.
Amen.
That you can be thankful for.
Absolutely.
When you wake up, putting your right foot forward, then things are going to come. It's an attraction. Then you attract positive things into the day. So it's very important to do that. When you're doing that and you're relaxing, you also, and you're meditating. When I'm doing the meditating, I do the breathing exercises. So because breathing exercises are excellent to lower your blood pressure. So I do the exercise that I take 4 breathe in, hold it for 7 minutes, 4 breathe out. And I do that at least 5 to 6 times while I'm doing meditation.
That's really good, especially for people that, and not even just with hypertension, but anyone who is overwhelmed, stressed out, and figuring out how to, again, as I say, slay the day, manage their day, and start their day off on a great foot, not a good foot. I always have to play devil's advocate. So I'm sure someone's listening and says, how much time does this take? I only have so much amount of time every morning before I have to go to work, get the kids up, just get prepared for all of my other activities. So how much time does it take to accomplish or to go through this type of routine to really make sure you establish and set the intention for your day?
It takes me an hour, and I'm going to tell you why it takes me an hour. I wake up before everybody else so that I can have my hour. Because if I wait to wake up when everybody else works, I will not have the time to do anything. Plus, I plug it in my schedule, so it's been done. Because the way I feel is, if I'm not doing good, I won't be no good for anybody else, and I won't be able to give. So it's not a choice. It's not if I have the time that I do it. It's done before everybody. And then sometimes, you can have constraint time. That's why I like to harmonize. Okay, if I didn't have time to sit down and do the whole meditation, then I go walking with my headphones with worship music that will relax me and pray while I'm walking. But I usually, when I do it right, it takes me an hour. I'm not going to lie to you. Some people say 15 minutes, 10 minutes. No, that doesn't work for me, because I'm a Christian, and sometimes when you're in prayer and with meditation, the Holy Spirit might take you someplace else, and the Holy Spirit will elevate you, or maybe He's talking to you and have something to say to you. And I don't want to sound woo-woo for people. It's not like He come into my ears, and it's a thing that of the Spirit that you feel it inside of you, that and sometimes He answers you when you read the word of the day or the message, the devotional. That message will be something that is intentionally for you, for that day, at that moment, in the way your life is going on at that point. And that might take a little longer. Sometimes it takes a little less, but an average of an hour.
Good. I'm glad you shared that with people. I'm all about transparency and setting expectations and clear expectations of, hey, this is the amount of time that you need to set aside daily to make sure that you are positioning and preparing yourself to win and to slay the day. So no, I'm glad that you shared that it takes you an hour, because sometimes you read people like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I don't know. Actually, I do know from personal experience, you can't go through that routine and go through all those different things and accomplish that in 15 to 20 minutes. And also, too, it's not woo-woo. We don't ever apologize from hearing from the Spirit, hearing from God. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And that's not something that you want rushed either. I've always believed there's no answers in the chaos. So in that quiet time and that reflection and that walk, that's where I get a lot of I call them downloads. That's my term. I get a lot of downloads. Okay, yeah. This is the next direction, or here's the next step. So no, I'm very grateful that you mentioned that. And then another thing I wanted to talk about, because we're all about health and wellness in this conversation, and that's a large part of the reset, to make sure that your health is on point and optimal. Because if your health's not where it needs to be, nothing else will matter, or nothing else will work if you're not here on earth to enjoy all of the blessings and luxuries of life. You talked about logging things for your physician and taking that to him. So basically saying, hey, I'm an informed patient. This is patient-centered care. What type of things should someone be logging? Or I'm experiencing hypertension, high blood pressure, or I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, or here's some of the approaches that I'm taking. What things would be in that log?
Okay, this is such an important session of the interview, because the problem is that people put all the responsibility of their health to a doctor, to a person that might see you 15 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 times a year. They have 30 people before you, 30 people after you, and you come unprepared and you expect for them to do an informed diagnosis. We need to help them make an informed diagnosis. By that, you need to come prepared to the doctor. And I'm going to take a little longer for this one, because the thing is that you need to come prepared. The first thing that you want to come prepared with, you want to have your health history. Okay, have your health history. You want to create a folder, and now they even have apps that you can do this. But it's better when you have a folder, because even when you have an app, you have to print it out to give it to the doctor. So at least print out, when you go to the doctor. You want to have your health history. You want to have any lab results or imaging results that you have done in any other doctors or the last ones that you have done, so they don't have to repeat anything. You want to make sure that you bring all your medications to the doctor and supplements, so you know what you're taking. And your log, if you come into the doctor because of hypertension, you need to have the last 2 weeks of your hypertension reading, and you take your blood pressure twice a day, one in the morning before you eat or anything, and then one in the rest of the day as the activity. So he knows how you wake up in the morning and when the day go by, how your blood pressure is. The same thing if you are going because of your sugar. You want to check your sugar in your log, and in your log you want to identify is that sugar is before eating or after eating. And if it is after eating, how long after eating? Because your sugar is going to be better half an hour after eating or 2 hours after eating, and the body have done digestion. So you want to make sure that you put that. Another thing that you want to log is pain. That's another thing that people don't understand. You can have, let's say you wake up today and you have a pain, and then the next 2 days you don't have the pain anymore, and then you have it again. You want to be able to log this in. You can create a little log that you put in your bathroom every day that will say, how I feel today. Do I have any pain? And if I have it from 1 to 10, how is the pain? And all you have to do is check and a number, check and a number, check and a number. And you do that in the daily basis. Why? Because the day that you go to the doctor, it makes a difference to know when the pain started, how it started, if it's intermittent or not, where it's located. All that is making a better and more informative decision for the doctor. It's a great information for the doctor to know how to diagnose that. So that's why you want to bring that kind of log, especially now that we're doing so much telehealth. Before, when you are there with the doctor have what is called a clinical eye, that he can look at you and palpate you and see without any test and estimate what's going on with you. But now it's all like this to multimedia. So you need to give him more information for him to be able to do a more effective. So the responsibility of your health is yours. I always said, it's the saying that I always said, that the doctor is responsible of your sick care, but you, my listener, you are responsible of your health care.
Ooh. Say that again. So that's good. That's good. Say that again. That was too good. We can't drive by that.
The doctor is responsible for your sick care, because when you go to the doctor, you go when you're sick. They give you a pill for that sickness. But what they do is stabilize whatever is going on in your life. But in order for you to keep it healthy, you are responsible for your health care. You are responsible for your health care and to stay healthy and maintain it. Because what the doctors do and what medicine do today's day, pharma, what they do is they prolong life. They prolong life, longevity, your health span, but they do not prolong your health span. And what you want is for your health span to be equal of your lung span, of your, longevity span or lifespan. You want it to be equal.
That's so good. I had a former coworker, and I never will forget that they mentioned that their parent had a quantity of life, but not a quality of life. So the person was ill the entire, the last 3 or 4 decades of their life.
And you don't want that. What good does it do to you for you to be alive in your 90s and the 100s, and you in diapers, you in a dementia clinic, because you cannot do anything, having a poor life. This is what I want for myself and what I prayed all the time. Like I mentioned before, I'm a Christian, so I pray in Exodus. It says that Moses lived a long life, 120 years, healthy, strong, and clear of mind. That's what I ask God all the time. I want to be healthy, strong, and clear right now. I have to put my part. It's not that you just say it to the air and do nothing about it. Faith is action. You need to actually move, do something about it. So that's why I'm taking care of myself and make sure that I give my body exactly what my body needs. This was created perfectly. It's functioned perfectly. If you give it, it's like your car, for example. Your car needs gasoline. You don't put water and sugar into your car so the car can keep running. No, you don't do that, because you know that in order for your car to run and take you from point A to point B correctly, you need to put gas. Why we put water and sugar in our body? We know that our body doesn't work with water and sugar. And that's what we do when we're doing the sodas. That's what we do when we're doing all these sugary drinks. And then we expect it to work right when we're not giving the body the right things and the right tools that they need in order to work in the highest healing potential.
That's good. That's good. And in terms of parts of our body or our whole entire body not functioning correctly, let's talk about gut health. And what would you say is the root cause of leaky gut, or talk to us about that connection between not feeding or fueling our body with the right ingredients, is what we put in and what we put in our mouths, and that gut health.
People think that the main important thing in your health is your heart, and it is, but the gut have even more important work. The digestive system have even a more important work in your body, because the digestive system not only digests all your food and give all the nutrients to your body, but is your second brain and also holds your immune system. So it is essential for us to eat healthy. So let me explain you a little bit what is leaky gut, because leaky gut is also a foundation or the root cause, one of the root causes of chronic diseases. So you know that your digestive system starts in your mouth, then your esophagus, then your stomach, then you have your small intestine, then you got your pancreas and your gallbladder, and then you have your large intestine and your colon. Okay? So what happens is that when you eat your food, the food you chew it, so the saliva will break it down a little bit. It goes down to the esophagus. The stomach will hold it there and chime it a little bit more with the acids to break it down easier. Then it go to your small intestine. If you ate any grease, then the gallbladder is going to secrete bile, and that's going to break down the fat a little bit more. Plus, your pancreas is going to secrete the insulin to carry the sugar out, and it's going to secrete enzymes to break down the carbohydrates, break down the fat, and break down the proteins. Now, when that food is going through the small intestine is suctioning all the nutrients out. Okay, so when you put things that inflame the colon, what it does to the walls of the intestine at the colon is that those walls are like my fingers, like this. They're like glued together like this, because they're like folds. Let me put on my dress so you can see a little bit. They're like folds like this, folds. And in that folds there, poo accumulate there, garbage accumulate there. When you have fiber, it will clean all that. But what happens is that when you eat a lot of garbage, and you don't eat enough fiber, okay, that accumulates in those folds, and those folds create inflammation, and that inflammation create holes in your intestine that allow bacteria and particles of food to leak out of your intestines. When they leak out into the intestine, now the immune system is saying that, okay, those particles, they go into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream will allow them to stop somewhere in your body. Let's say that they stop in your joints, for example, and they're located in your joints. Now your immune system is saying, wait, hey, this doesn't look like a joint cell. That's a foreign body there. Let me go and attack it. And it start attacking. That's when inflammations come into the area. And as it continue to attack and continue to create free radicals and oxidative stress and damaging the cells, and the cells, they are replicating continuously. So now they're damaged, they're replicating damage. So that is creating inflammation. Now, because that was in your joints and creating inflammation in your joints, now you have arthritis. If that happened in your muscles, then you have fibromyalgia, for example. It happened in your brain, then you have dementia, you have MS, you have Parkinson's. That happens.
Disease is the root is chronic inflammation.
It's chronic inflammation, but the chronic inflammation can happen from many ways. It can happen from leaky gut. And what are the things that cause leaky gut? Milk and dairy foods cause leaky gut, because the dairy food is full of the way that they raise our cows here in America. They put a lot of antibiotic and a lot of hormones. Okay, they even, let me tell you something. You know that the cows, they are in a machine that they're taking the milk. Okay, do you know that all mammals, including us women, whenever there's an infection in our breasts, and you are breastfeeding, the breast itself, our body is so smart, will create a mucus plug into your nipple. Okay, not allowing any milk to come out. That's why you feel sometimes that your breasts get engorged, because you might have a little bit of infection and your body create a mucus plug, so the baby don't get that anymore. But because they have machines pulling out the milk out of the cows, what they do is they keep pulling until they pull that mucous membrane out. Okay, and even blood and everything, all that is going into the milk. And now you say, but they pasteurize the milk. Yeah, they pasteurize the milk. They kill the bacteria, but the particles of it is still, microscopic particles still in your milk. So I'm sorry if I scare you, but when you're drinking your milk with pus and blood, estrogen and hormones and antibiotic and all that. You put in when you're drinking that, especially the antibiotics are going to kill the good bacteria of your gut. That's going to create the inflammation. That's why you don't want meat. The next thing you don't want is that you don't want gluten, because the gluten is like the glue in all the breads and stuff like that, especially on wheat. And the wheat that we are growing here in America have a lot of gluten. So what that gluten does, it creates inflammation in the wall of the intestines. So that's another thing that you don't want. Then the other thing that you don't want is the sugar, because the amount of, it's not that sugar is bad for you, because we need sugar in order to make energy in the cells. But that when you put an incredible amount of sugar into your intestine, then the insulin have to come in and grab that sugar and take into the cells. But what's going to happen is that the cell is not going to want that much sugar because they don't need it anymore, or they don't need that much because they're already inflamed and they already got damage into the garages of the cell that will park the insulin in to dump the sugar there. Or maybe you ate too much, or you're not doing any exercises, so the cell is saying, I don't need it, I don't need more energy, and it go back into the bloodstream, causing more inflammation, and will inflame also your intestines. And then the other thing that you need to do is make sure that you eat a lot of fiber. Because when you don't have no fiber, the other part that you're going to be doing to your intestine is, now, remember that I was telling you in my dress, the little folds that get created? The little folds, they have garbage in there, poo-poo, feces there. And the fiber is like a broom that's going to clean it out. If you don't have enough fiber, then those are going to get there and they're going to stuck there, and they're going to create inflammation, and they can create an infection. When that get infected, that is called diverticulitis. And then that can create ulcers, and people can suffer of ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. You see, so that's why it is very important what you put in your mouth. You need to give your body, your cells, the tools that they need in order for them to work in high healing potential. Not to mention that when you're doing all these things, you get bloated. All that bloating that we have, I don't know if that ever happened to you, but it used to happen to me, where I walk in the morning flat. Like if I wanted to wear a nice dress or something like that, I don't eat all day just to keep my stomach flat. Because as soon as I put something, I look like I have 6 months pregnancy.
I can relate.
Yep, I used to have that issue.
That's really good. So what I hear you saying is that we have to be a great steward over what we eat and what we how we manage our day, what routines we have, and knowing how different types of food affect our bodies and can create dis-ease or disease.
Exactly.
I think it's very interesting that you also have a really great metaphor about being the steward over your health. And I tell people to be the CEO of you, right? The CEO of their lives. And you have an acronym about becoming the CEO of your health. Share that with us and its relationship to personal leadership and the business of your health.
Yes, the thing is that we all want to be CEOs of everything. We want to be CEOs in your entrepreneurship journey. You want to be CEO in the company and corporate, because you always want to have things to follow. But if you cannot follow yourself, if you cannot leader yourself, how can you have followers? So the first thing that you need to do is leader yourself. So you want to be the CEO of your health and your lifestyle. So how you do that? What I do is I use the letters, the C, the E, and the O. First, the C is you have to make the choice. You have to make the choice that you want to be healthy. Okay, you want to make the choice that you want to have a long, healthy life. And then you need to create it, to create that life that you want. And that's what you do with the letter C. Then with the letter E, then you need to get educated. How are you going to create it? And after you make that choice, you need to get the information. Okay, how does my body work? What do my body needs? What I need to do? What is my health history? What happened back in my life that I need to, to prevent now? What am I supposed to eat? What I need to remove? What I need to take? You need to learn how your body works and what your body needs and what the nutrients that will affect your body, how they will do it. Learn that most as you can in order for you to create that lifestyle of health that you need. And after you get educated and empowered, then the next thing you want to do is get organized. Now you already make that choice. Okay. You already got educated. Yeah, you know what is what. Now you need to get organized. Okay, what do I need to remove? Let me start cleaning my pantry. Let me start cleaning the refrigerator. Okay, let me detox myself out of sugar. For example, let it get my morning routine and my night routine, and make sure that I do my exercise. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to get organized and you need to implement. So that way you can become that CEO of your health. And that goes with everything in your life. Anything that you want to do new, you want to first make the choice that you want to do it and then start creating. Then you want to get educated so you know how to do it. And then you want to get organized and implement it. So that's exactly what you want to do in every area of your life. But you have to start with yourself. If you cannot do you cannot do nobody. People that cannot lead themselves, they cannot lead anymore because the people that you leading are looking at you. So that's why it's so important, for example, as a parent, it's not exactly what you say to your kids at work. It's what they see in you doing. Are you being the leader that you want them to be? So that happens in every area of your life, but it's especially in your health. You need to get educated because not only because for yourself, but even when you go to the doctor, you want to be educated because if you get a doctor that is laid back, when you are educated, you are challenging them to do the right thing. Because they know they cannot fool you.
Ooh, that is, you're over here. I feel like giving us a sermon right now. If you can't lead you can't lead anybody else. And then exactly. When you said, become educated, become informed. So when your physician is speaking with you and you are working on your health care, because as you said, they're responsible for your sick care, you bring something to the conversation. You know what, and also too, the purpose of the log, you know what you've been observing and experiencing yourself. I tell everybody, you know you better than anybody else. When you come to the physician, when you come to any professional, when you come to these different resources, they're only taking the information you're providing them. They may be able to do an assessment. They're taking information you provided them, but also too, think about when you come to a physician, that's a snapshot. That's how you are today. That's how you are in this moment. So that is powerful. So before I ask my final question, where can we find you online?
You can find me in Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's called RX for Everlasting Health, Inc. You can find me also in my group. That's why I like to connect with everybody, because when they go to my group, I give tips, I do challenges, I do a lot of lives in there and everything. And that is Biohacking Tools for an Everlasting Health. Biohacking Tools for an Everlasting Health. Okay. And then you can find me also on LinkedIn. When there, you find me under my name, Aida Sereno Lee. And that's where you find me there. And those are the three places. You can find me on Instagram also, which is my cash name there is at RX for Everlasting Health as well. So yeah, you can find me in those places.
Awesome. And final question. What is the greatest lesson you've learned in your reset?
The best lesson that I learned in my reset is that I have control of my health. That I don't have to leave it to anybody else. That everybody else, including the doctor, is my assistant when it comes to my health. I'm the one in control. Ooh, that I can control my health outcomes. I don't have to expect because of heredity or because my mama have high blood pressure, my aunt have high blood pressure, my grandma. That doesn't mean I have to have it. I can take control of that. And I was able to do that. I took control of it because, like I said, I was in 19 pills. I was almost 300 pounds using size 20 on clothes. Okay. And I had no life. Not to mention, I was stressed and I was in a very unhappy job. And I was able to change that. I took control of my life. I become that CEO. And I went from 19 pills to only 1 pill when I need it. Okay. So I don't even have to take it every single day, just when I need it. Okay, I went from size 20 to size 14. Of course, I'm not a size 6, but I'm a very healthy size 14. Okay. And then I went from having a stressful job to now being the CEO of my own company, my own business. So that means that I had control of my life, my health, and lifestyle. And that's what I learned. That was my big takeaway.
Wow, spitting fire. Thank you so much. I am grateful for you. This was amazing. So thank you so much, everyone. That was phenomenal. Routines, right? If I'm not good for anyone else. The doctor is responsible for your sick care, but you are responsible for your health care. I want to be healthy, strong, and have a clear mind. Faith is action. Y'all know how I feel about action. I hope this message bless you today. If it did, bless someone else. Text it, email it, share it. Resetting your health is necessary to live a full, healthy life and become the CEO of your health. Choice, educated, organized. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe so you can be in the know of all of the incredible content that we release and provide. I am Raven M. Harris on all social platforms, and I would love to continue the reset conversation with you because remember, a reset is always available to you.